Hello and welcome to Impact Africa, where we celebrate and share the stories of diverse women, organizations, and communities who impact lives and communities around them. As well, the platform, we use it to celebrate and highlight positive news, people, and places. I am Dr. Kemi Akiode Adebayo, known as Dr. Mama K. And in today's program is a special one. So it is the month of August. So we're going to highlight some of the conversations we've had with three powerful women, here in South Africa. So it's previous recordings, so it's just snippets, of our conversations, with them. Women's Day. What is it about? South Africa has been blessed, to celebrate Women's Day twice, in a year. So every year on the 9th of August, we celebrate Women's Day. And the whole of the month of August, we celebrate Women's Month. So on the 9th of August in 1956, 4 women led, powerful women and diverse women, Lillian, Ellen, and 2 others, led 10,000 women to the parliament in Pretoria, South Africa, to complain and protest, basically, about the past laws during the apartheid days. And these past laws restricted, business women and women from moving around and restricted to the township. So these women had 100,000 people, women, men included, sign a petition to say enough is enough. So each year after that, the 9th of August is used to celebrate and to remember and to honor them for their bravery. So what I want to challenge you with before we even watch, a conversation with some of the people that we've interviewed is to think about who has inspired me, who has made a difference in my life, which woman has helped to build me up. Well, I'll come back again, enjoy the 3 snippets, and we'll be back shortly.
Again, things have changed and things are continuously changing. It's quite dynamic. So it keeps me on my toes.
So I think my first question, did you ever finish the documentary for your dad? I think that's
no
one.
I haven't finished it because it became much bigger than I expected. And I can tell you now, the budget for that production is 6 million rand.
Wow.
And a big part of it is the archive. So I've learned, new lessons about how to, as much as it's a well-written story and it's got part of the funding, but because of the archive, it's costing a lot more. So now I have to reconfigure the story so that we don't have as much archive and then make it work. Because that archive, even when you clear the rights, it depends which countries you are clearing for, So there's a lot. So now we've had to relook that. We've shot some interviews, but people are also passing away because they're older. So now you've got constantly change things but now I have after the advice and consulting with other people, I've been told, since I have such a strong voice and I was there for a lot of the fights and I was there with my dad on a number of things, I should tell it from my point of view. I've been very uncomfortable about doing that because I don't like being in front of the camera, but I have consulted with another producer to help me structure.
You're doing very well in front of the camera now. But I know it's a different camera. But now let me go now to in the media, broadcasting, film industry. What are some of the challenges, for you that you've encountered, within it, and how have you managed, to deal with it? Because I know one of the biggest issues that I've heard, from other people is the sexual harassment and a lot of other things. But for you, that either personally or based on, what others have told you, what are some of the challenges, in that industry, and how did you overcome it, or how can one overcome it?
For me personally, and I'll speak from my experience, and it's navigating the industry has become more complicated because of this convergence of, information technology, film. So it's ever evolving and new things are coming up. So you've got to keep abreast of how productions are made, how film is made. We're dealing with AI now. There's a lot of visual effects. And there's just so much that is happening. So you have to keep abreast of that. And even in terms of distribution of the content, it is a whole new ballgame. We get they call them OTT platforms, they call over-the-top platforms, your Netflixes and stuff that have come into play. Your broadcasters, there's paid television, there's free-to-air television, it's evolving all the time. So you've got to keep abreast of that. And so for me, that's why it's important to remain as an executive producer, because I have the time to read about what's happening. I have the time to attend different, workshops, conferences, so that I know what is happening, and I can then inform what we are doing. So those have been the challenges. The technology, what is happening just in terms of how content is produced is a new challenge, and also because I'm coming from the broadcaster side of things, I'm now coming back into the industry. I haven't been in the industry for a very long time. That's another challenge of now adjusting to being on the producing side when you are used to being on the supervising side of things. There are advantages because I know what broadcasters expect, but there are also disadvantages because I've been away from it for a very long time. But what it has helped me with is that it's allowed me to be comfortable in being an executive producer and not want to be hands-on and allow people that are used to it to do it.
Right.
You see. Yeah, but that's been a challenge for me, the adjustment. Definitely sexual harassment is an issue. I haven't experienced it personally, but because of the organization that I work with, which is called Sisters Working in Film and Television, SWIFT, okay. It is just unbelievable, the levels of sexual harassment in South Africa, and the fact that there is nothing serious that's been done about it. Very slow response, let me not say lack of, but very slow response from the platforms, the broadcasters, and the other networks in addressing this, because they've got to provide funding to prevent that. It must be a line item in all budgets so that we can have an effective solution, to the problem. So that has been very slow. So that is one of my biggest challenges, is that in 2025, we are still dealing with sexual harassment, because it is part of gender-based violence, And the last thing that for me has been a challenge is that some of the issues or challenges that I faced when I started in the industry as a Black woman still exist in 2025. A study that was done by the National Film and Video Foundation shows that production company owners are not making as much money as their white counterparts, for instance. Their business are not as viable. So where is the disconnect? Yes, it's understanding the business side of things. It's understanding that everyone has to be granted the same opportunities, because we can't be perpetually trained as Black filmmakers. At some point we've got to be given an opportunity, because even the white counterparts, our white counterparts, were given the opportunities. That's how they grew and began to understand and know how to make this thing work. So opportunity is very important. You can't tell me that because I'm new in the industry, I've got to be so-and-so's understudy. They were never understudies to anybody. Why should we be understudies now? So we need decision makers to recognize that we've got to be given the same opportunities that were afforded our white counterparts earlier on in the industry. That's the only way we can advance. And the same, number the same amount of work as well. Once we're in there, I'm not saying give me 3 million when you don't know I can manage 500,000 yet, but give me the opportunity and let me build up to that 3 million, you know, and not say, oh, we're just going to be giving them 500,000, 500,000. That's not, you know.
That's not empowering.
No, it's not empowering, and it's not sustainable.
Yeah, it's not sustainable at all. Wow,
so that's my challenge.
You know, in there. Before we close the segment, I know we've overrun, but I'm fine because there's a lot for me that I know we need to just, you know, get from you, because this is the industry we're in, you know, as well. What have you been mostly proud of, though, irrespective of this challenge that you've said? I know you've got a few awards and recognition, you know, here and there, but for you, you know, what have you been mostly proud of?
I've been proud of, I will start with Swift.
Okay.
Sisters Working in Film and Television is moving the needle.
Right.
When it comes to empowering women, creating opportunities for them. We are now recognized by government as an organization, which is a big deal for us. We're not only recognized in South Africa, we now have a chapter in Namibia, so we are branching out, because I believe that we have to, in fact, have something that's ours as African women before.
Yes,
exactly,
because it's the same experience. It will be experienced in Zimbabwe,
absolutely,
in Malawi.
You know, so we've got a partnership with Zimbabwe. Tsitsi Tangaremba's organization. And now another sister who's based in France, but she's from Djibouti.
Yo, Ikaya, the home, the house in Kosa, and your journey with your brother, finding the place, and you being far away, and, you know, coming here, and that journey of hospitality, you know, that you've been doing, and even putting back in the community, and all what you shared in terms of challenges. I'm sure, you know, I can already tell what can be the 3 things that you personally value.
Oh.
I can already tell. So let me now.
Do you want to tell me?
No, I don't want to, but I can tell. I can tell. And I'll let you know if I'm right.
If you're right, okay.
Okay.
So you want me to tell you?
Yes, please.
The 3
share
things
with
that I
us
value.
the 3 things that you
Okay,
value.
so I don't know if I've mentioned this, but my faith work is very important.
I knew that.
You know, so once again, I think family, but then you make a personal decision. And so my faith work is very important because I believe that we are all created for a purpose on this earth. And in fact, at reception, we have Jeremiah 29:11, which everybody knows.
Are you sure you're not my sister?
Oh.
Because we've shared something else.
Yes,
And I'm like, that as well
You're
is
my
something
sister,
I have.
oh.
I don't know, as in really.
Yes.
No, because that verse is what I wake up with. It's right in front of my bed, you know, as well. Okay, keep going.
And it's, for me, it's an opportunity to talk about things with guests and everything. And it is right. So that's my faith walk. The second thing is family. It's really important for me. And so how I brought up my children and how I relate with them, and so also my siblings and my nephews and my nieces, and even how I relate with their grandparents, you know, their father's side of the family. That's important to me, to create that circle. And then I think, I don't know now. The third one is like, they work together maybe. Work ethic and integrity.
Okay.
So, because living your purpose is very important for me. So to live your purpose, you have to work at it. You know, there's no way anyone can live their purpose without working at it. And so if I think of scripture, I go to the parable of the talents. And I'm like, you know, what is in your hand? You know, it doesn't have to be like, So work ethic and integrity, and that's really important for me.
Now, what is in your hand? I use it a lot when I'm invited as a public speaker, you know, referencing to Moses, you know, as well.
Yes.
No, we are definitely, we need to talk more.
Good. We are going to talk. We are going to talk.
Maybe you're my sister from way back that I didn't really know, even though we are. But I'm just saying too many things. I'm like, what is happening? But
I love it.
So for you, what motivates you? What keeps you going? And I believe it's partly probably the faith, family.
Definitely, you know. Definitely. Okay. Especially, you know, for me, the reason why my faith work is so important is because so many promises. So many promises, you know, and when you start calling them out and you start they start manifesting, and it just you're like, hey, more, you know. But then of course it needs you to continue the faith walk and and do that. And also it keeps me, well, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say this, let someone else say it, but I will say it this way. It coaches me in working at humility, because remember what I said, that there's no self-made.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
I really believe that it's grace upon grace. You know, people say, oh, favor, but for me it's true, you know,
Right.
because your body is working, grace. You know, you're able to take the things off that you wanted to do that day, grace. So that motivates me. To tap into that motivates me. It's also those promises and the dreams and the visions, they motivate me. And I want to go for it. And now, as we lay my mother to rest, all I could think of, how she ticked her boxes. And she had a grade 8 education, grade 8 education of 1940 something. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What am I doing? You know? And so I get so motivated to believe, yes, you can, you know? And then love motivates me, you know? And so I'm motivated by love, first for myself, and not in a selfish way, but in a self-caring, self-loving way, that I can, you know, if I do this, I live my life more fully. But love motivates me in the sense that even with my team here, they know I've got a temper like a flash in the pan, you know. But
I'm laughing because I'm like, if somebody were to describe me, they would do exactly what
you know what I mean? It's like, whoa, they used to call me Cape Town weather, you know, because you know how Cape Town weather just changes like this. Because 1 minute she was nice, and I'm like, wow, what happened?
I can relate.
You relate? Yeah, because I've gone upstairs and I've seen something and I'm like, how now? You know, but then just the same way, I calm down, you know? So love motivates me to understand that, you know, we need to operate from that energy, because that energy is perennial. It just doesn't run out, you know? So yeah.
Wow. Temper, look, I'm like, oh wow.
I'm improving, by the way, eh? I'm improving.
I can relate. Honestly, I really can relate. I'm the same. I'm sure. Anyway, don't let me go there, because I'll get into trouble.
You know what, Dr. K? I say, look, my children are living proof that it doesn't go over, because they're still alive. They're still alive. They managed to leave the house.
We'll leave that.
Yeah,
I'll zip, but I get you 100%. So for you, Ruth, though, now with the Kaya Lodge, all what you're doing in the community and the love, you know, as well that you have for staff, and, you know, that kind of just grooming and sewing into their lives. What does success mean to you? Would you say now you're successful? Would you say, yeah, that's it? And my follow-on question is a 3-part question, actually. As a leader, because you're leading a team, what are some of the qualities a leader should have, and what does leadership mean to you personally?
So what does success mean to me? I think success means living your purpose. Okay, so you could be in the process of living it fully, because you know, some of these things we are building, it's like knitting a cardigan, right? So you start knitting it, you're living your purpose, because your intention is to knit that cardigan, and so as the cardigan evolves, you're still living your purpose. Just because it's not finished doesn't mean you're not living your purpose. But then you make the cardigan, then you have to put buttons on it and everything, you know, so you're still living your purpose. And that to me is success. Because you could be making trousers and that's not what you want to do. And And I don't know that you feel successful even if you make a really good pair of trousers. But if you make a cardigan or you knit a scarf and that's what you really want to do, the sense of fulfillment and accomplishment, you will feel it. So that's success to me. And that, I think, brings happiness. You know, because I think happiness comes from here. So you don't have to keep getting retail therapy or hanging out with different people. You just actually, you know, I used to say I'm like a pig in mud. You know, I grew up with pigs, so you have to understand where I'm coming from. They like rolling in the mud, and then you're like, oh, I have to clean you up and everything. But anyway, the pig was very happy. So I want to be like that. So when I'm at Tikaya, I'm happy. I'm successful. Because I'm living my purpose. It was a dream, I'm living it. Then those things, they shoot out roots. And one of the roots that I've experienced here is leadership, right? And I think one of the most important qualities for a leader is empathy.
Right.
Yeah, because it's just easier to sail that ship when you've got empathy on board, you know? So it doesn't, you could be very highly skilled academically or technically, but if you don't have empathy, you know, people can't work for you. They don't feel like you listen. They don't feel like you understand that people are human. They'll have good days, they'll have bad days, you know, or even you have good days and you have bad days, you know? So you have to have empathy for yourself. So that, and then the empathy will bring out the good listener, you know, and the empathy will bring out the perseverance and the resilience because you have empathy even for yourself. Like, yeah, I'm having a bad day. Oh, I shouldn't have forgotten that.
So now let's go on to what keeps you going. Why do you wake up in the morning to do what you're doing? And, you know, with the elderly and obviously people like us, we're young as well.
Yeah.
And as well with your mom, and what keeps you going? And your dogs, what motivates you as a person?
Well, for me, it's definitely, I think God has put me on earth for a purpose. So you have to live that every day. And yeah, I mean, out of a practical point of view, somebody's got to bring in the money to pay the bills, you know. So that's enough motivation, as is just out of a practical, besides all the nice la-di-da stuff of what motivates you. That's definitely a motivator, because if you want to have a house to live in and you want to eat and you want to have animals, you have to work to get an income. I'm not married, I'm divorced, like I've said to you now. So there's no other income where I can live off, so I just have to work. Okay, good. But I'm very fortunate that I can. So I'm not complaining. Sometimes I'm a little bit complaining, you know, but generally, I mean, I do realize that I am very fortunate and I appreciate it. So yeah, so that's out of a practical point of view. But like I say, also just to make a difference, you know, to not just necessarily, obviously, with my service for people to see, but also just to make an impact on people's life, even the people that you work with in the shopping center, going to Pick and Pay or whatever, just to be. Just to make a bit of a brightness in somebody's day. Okay. I think that also just gives you a bit of a purpose in life, you know.
So for you now, what has been your greatest achievement with Toga Optical franchise, whether be it in Pretoria or here? What have you been mostly proud of? Either a success story within your practice or anything else?
Yeah, I think also to get back to success and combined with what you say, what I'm proud of is, with me being here 10 years now, so obviously you have quite a few patients that come back regularly every second year. So I mean, that's a measure of success, because if people there's so many places you can go. I always say to my clients, when you come back to me, I really appreciate it, because you can go anywhere.
True.
There's optometrists around every corner.
Correct.
And the fact that people are loyal and they want to come back to you for me is something that I'm proud of, because that my name is for me very important. And that's always something that I also say that comes from my Free State upbringing, living in a small town. If you don't stick with your word, if your word means nothing, people know it very quickly in a small town. So that's important. You know, in a big city, it's not that's such a big thing. But having that for me, that's important, and that's why I really appreciate it. And that's an achievement for me if people come back regularly, because they value my service and my expertise.
Okay, you know what? We'll stop for a break to just see some of the pictures from what Toga Optical is, Plumstead is about. Wow. In the previous segment, I love the way you defined, success, that, it depends on what season in your life you're in. And obviously as well, for you, what motivates you is God. I'm a God believer myself, and I believe so much in, we're all placed in here for a purpose. Saying happiness is success, for you. And it's a choice, as well, and I love the way you were saying accountability, a leader, the qualities, you need to have as a leader. So obviously in there, you've already shared some kind of lessons, I think that you've learned along the way. So I wanted to just maybe give a more of key life lessons that has worked for you, as an entrepreneur, or even just growing up, or even as a daughter, who feels responsible for. How old is your mom, by the way?
My mom is 73.
Oh, 73.
But she's still a spring chicken.
Very spring chicken. Spring chicken. No wonder you do things together.
Yes,
So, what are some of the life lessons? And even a divorcee, has been there, done that.
Yes.
What are some of the life lessons that you will maybe give a younger Sanette to say, 10-year-old Sanette, don't do that. I'm afraid. Don't do that. Okay, do this, do that.
Yeah.
Can you just share with us?
Yeah, I think the big thing that I've learned in my life, or how my life has been going, is if you want something to happen, you must make it happen yourself.
Right.
Nobody is going to make it happen for you. Some people are lucky and somebody else makes something happen for them. For me, it didn't work that way. When I finished with school, my stepfather just lost all his money in his business, so there was no money for me to go and study. So I had to get a bursary, or otherwise it wasn't happening. So I was fortunate enough to get a bursary, which long term cost me, because I had to work back for the company, and there was a lot of male chauvinism in that company. There was a lot of tears, crying. But I got my education regardless of the price I had to pay later. So my point is, I had to make it happen for myself. Nobody made it happen for me. And I think if you can just get that, the younger you are, the better. To get that thing is, go out there and make stuff happen for yourself. Don't wait for other people. Don't wait for the government or your parents or your husband or whoever. Just make it happen yourself. If you get any help along the line, fantastic.
Right.
But just with anything, just go and do it and make it happen.
I love that. I love that.
And work.
You keep repeating that word. Work. And it is important.
Very few people are so lucky to not have to work and just everything falls in their lap. It looks like it nowadays if you look on social media and whatnot. But
and then they're the ones who want to do the work, but they can't find the work. For whatever reason.
Yes,
so there's that group of people as well, which Yeah, well, it's interesting.
But
Wow.
at least you're still better off if you want to work and you can't find work than somebody
Right.
that doesn't want to work because they will never
Right.
find work.
Exactly.
So at least
I like that
with the right
clarification.
attitude, your chances are a lot better.
I love
Definitely.
that.
But
I
yeah,
love
that is difficult.
And that's important for young people to know
Yeah.
that. And I hope you young people, you're listening and you heard that. That is deep. And that is really, really important.
But yeah, I mean, I can think it is. I mean, I was lucky when I was saying lucky when I had a bursary. So I worked I started working in grade 10 when I was in school. I started working in the pharmacy. Every Saturday, every holiday. Because my mom believed you don't spoil your kids. She wasn't raised that way. So if you wanted pocket money, you had to work. So I worked every Saturday, every holiday. Then when I got the bursary in my first year, I worked every holiday. June, July holiday 4 weeks. December, January, those days the holidays weren't as long as they now. 6 weeks, the whole holiday. Right through my varsity.
And you earn money, no matter how much.
Yeah, not a lot, but I had money
but
to
you had
spend.
money
I could
to
buy
spend.
clothes, you know. I could be a
You could do
fashionista. Anyway, but yeah, so the thing is, like I say, what I wanted to say, so I can understand, so I had a job immediately because I had a bursary, because I had to work it back.
Yes, yes.
But I can understand that it must be very frustrating if you maybe just studied or whatever and you got the qualification and you can't find a job. Definitely, but you know, you just have to persevere. I always say, what's the other choice?
And I liked what you said there. And because our audience is mostly Africans, not just South Africa, but across Africa, from Ghana to Nigeria to Malawi to, you know. And one thing you just said there for me, you know, that at grade 10, you started working because your mother believed that you have to earn it. And I think that is missing, you know, right now in the way we bring up the young ones in Africa overall. Some people are doing it, but some are not doing it because it's allowing me, because I've been exposed to leave and work and I've been blessed, I think that's the word, to leave and work after I left Nigeria in the UK, in South Africa and in US. So I try and pick, you know, from each country, you know, what are the good and what are the bad. And for me, the UK one that stood out because I was there for a long time and I'm British you know, as well because of my husband. So what stood out for me is I used to see young kids doing newspaper runs during holidays. You know, and my nephew actually did that, you know, as well, you know. And initially, a mother was not so worried because she's like you in terms of you make a plan. There's no challenge, make a plan. I don't want to pay mortgage, you need, you can, you know. So my kids didn't, but I got them to work though with me with my charity, but I didn't pay them. Sorry if you're listening.
But at least I got some work ethic, you know.
Exactly, because that has helped them now in their work ethics where they can work all hours. It's not their job, but they put in 200% because they did that, you know, with my charity. They work with my charity, and sometimes we're working up till 2 a.m. You know, 3. If we need to do it, we need to do it. But yeah, they got paid anyway in holidays and so on. I did pay that. So you're right. So maybe we need to, in Africa, start sending out that message to fathers, mothers, aunties, uncles, to start encouraging children where it's safe. I think that's one of the problems now.
It is a problem.
The safety now, you know, because a lot of parents, you know, don't want, and I get it. I get it. But maybe we need to start thinking, what other things in this day of technology? What can they do digitally?
They've got other
instead
options
of
there that
just
we
playing, on the phone. Because parents put their children on the phone to watch things. So what other things can we do now to embrace this season? You know, so that way they start knowing. Anyway, okay, me and you can talk.
So they've just got a different mindset and a different way of looking at it, to look for opportunity. That's the big thing. Because I mean, so I worked in school, like I say, but even after, I mean, since I've been an optometrist, I've always been doing something. At some stage, I sold jewelry on the side. I would sometimes
side hustle, as we'll call it.
I mean, when
I did all that as well.
When I was at varsity, I can make clothes. I made clothes for the ladies in my race, for extra money. So you know, all sorts of things. You must just like look for opportunity and try and do something. You know. yeah, the big thing is just to have that mindset of
That
keeping your eyes
mindset.
open and look for opportunity, even if it doesn't come straight away. You know, have an openness for it, because
Wow.
if you're not open for it, you won't find it. That's what I believe.
I love that. Okay. Welcome back to Impact Africa. And this particular episode is to celebrate women, you know, who have impacted lives positively in South Africa, across Africa, and across the world. So I hope you enjoyed the snippet of my conversation with 3 women that we just felt we wanted to highlight. There's a lot of other women doing amazing work in communities around us. So my closing message, you know, to you is, let us keep building each other up. I know a lot of us, we're resilient, we're amazing, we do a lot of work, we multitask, we are there for each other, we're sisters, you know, to each other. The theme or the protest song then was, you strike a woman, you strike a rock. And I think that is what a lot of our women are, be it Christian, be it Muslim, be it those even without faith, being white, black, colored, Indian, Asian, anything in between, be it those who are businesswomen, be it those who are community activists, teachers, doctors, pilots, and so on. Thankfully, in Africa, we now have a lot of women playing big roles within politics, within communities, in the business, health, every area, every sector. So we've now had female presidents and vice presidents. In some countries, you know, in Africa, we basically have women playing a big role, but there's still a long way to go. So let's keep working together. Let's keep bringing each other up together. I rise, I bring you up to rise. Mentor others. Find those, you know, who are doing good work. If you can't start it yourself, support them. Give compliments. I know they always say, yeah, women were the enemies of each other, but I don't really agree. But yes, sometimes it feels like that, but bottom line, we stand for each other. The sisterhood, I can testify to that. So thank you for all the women, not just the 3 that we've highlighted, all the ones we've interviewed, that we've given that platform for us to share their stories. We thank you, we see you, we celebrate you, we honor you. And all the women out there as well, you might be sitting and thinking, when is this going to end? Or you might be going through one challenge or the other. Or you might be in a good space and doing well. But at the end of the day, let us continue to remember each other. Let us be there for each other, no matter what. Let love, let peace, let unity be our foundation. So it's not just for the month of August. And like I said earlier on, yes, we're fortunate we celebrate the International Women's Day in March. And then for South Africa, we celebrate South African Women's Day in August. So it should be every day. And I know every day we do a lot. Mothers, sisters, grandma, great-grandmothers, aunties, neighbors, have children, don't have children, and a lot of others. So we see you, we honor you, we celebrate you each day. Well, that's all we've got time for. But like I said, let's keep on building each other. Let's keep supporting each other. And God will continue to lift us up. And remember, God is love. Well, do please follow us. I keep forgetting all that bit about that. Follow us. Like, share, whatever you're able to do. Tell us others about us. And yeah, we will want you as well to share those phenomenal women who've impacted your life. Just share with us or just call them. Let them know that I need to make some calling to some people. Because I've been out of circulation for a long time, but I see you, I love you all. Thank you for your messages, and God is love. I'm Mama K, Dr. Mama K, signing off. We'll be right back. God bless you all.